So what I like is I like to be able to take those people, again, that second chance people, the ones that are failing out, the ones that are realizing, okay, I've been here for 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, a year.
Yeah.
And I'm not making money, right? I'm doing all this work. I'm putting in so much effort, and I'm not making any money.
Yep.
I love those agents. Why? Because they're in the wrong system. They're buying the Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
And again, the Kool-Aid's not always bad. If you're making money, you're making money.
Right.
But if you're not making money,
there's things you have to, at that point, start to analyze to determine, is it you or is it the system you're a part of? And you're good at analyzing that based on conversations you're having, because again, you've already been through this. You've already know how to identify.
Well, I came from a captive setup, actually. So
which is why you could probably read it even easier.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't want to name any companies out there. You know who you are.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So here I am again with an incredibly special guest. We're going to be talking about the final expense arena with a heavy hitter, Mr. Alex McGaw, who is joining us today to talk about his agency, what he's done, what he's practiced, and how you guys can glean from what he's doing successfully so that you, in turn, can also be more successful in your practice. So thanks for being on the show today, Alex. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm actually doing very well for, interviewing me, bring me on here. So I appreciate you, giving me time to talk and being able to kind of dip into my side of the, sort of spectacle of insurance, so that I specialize in. So.
And you specialize not only specifically in final expense, but you do a lot of door to door, and the training you do is training agents with. And I don't mean going door to door to get leads, but going door to door to the kitchen table.
Yeah, it's usually a common misconception. Yeah. So we do a lot of direct mail. Our expertise in the marketing is being able to get a direct mail lead card, and then being able to go over there and door knock it, get a hold of it. So our whole job, and what I teach agents be able to develop them in, is being able to go out there, know how to door knock, know how to the how-tos of how many sales are at an actual lead, right? And that's two. It's the door and it's in the house.
Right.
So every single opportunity that you have, I think door knocking is a skill that a lot of people don't really have. They might say they have it, but I think it's a skill that it's not going to go away for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's definitely a trend of more and more agents starting to do this telephonically, right? And there's a lot of good reason for it, because they want to maybe cover more territory in a shorter amount of time, and or some people just prefer it. They prefer that to traveling, but there's still a huge portion of business coming in, final expense wise, from people who are going to the kitchen table, right? Belly to belly.
Yeah. So we actually saw in COVID, a lot of agents were starting to shift into the telesales side of closing, and what was happening was we kept the field force going, and on top of that, the senior was getting bombarded last year by phone calls. It was like AEP all year round, right, for the senior. And because a lot of people were still, they weren't doing a lot of face-to-face, and so we kept our field force on, and we actually saw a growth of 27%. So it was
face-to-face.
Yeah, from face-to-face. Yeah. Wow. So we did not break and go into. We kept our direct mail leads. We kept the flow going, and we did not stop taking our lead orders.
Right.
Yeah. So we just adjusted, and we kept on pushing through. We wore a mask, but everything. We did our best to be able to keep our seniors safe. It might sound like it was it was a reckless, but it was. It worked.
You used all the precautions, though. You masked up. You maybe wore gloves, hand sanitizer, kept the distance of 6 feet, all that stuff.
Made sure I sneezed before, I go into the house. not during the house. No, but
get it all out of the way before you walk in with the senior.
Coughed 20 times before, not during. But for me, I think I did our best on being able to backbone my I think success in this industry so far. I don't want to say that I'm super successful, but I want to say that a lot of the agents that I do train, I feel like they're a little bit more developed, a little bit more, I guess experienced before I let them out.
Right.
And I absolutely love being able to have that availability for my agents.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your agency specifically, because you're set up uniquely, and it's not to say you're the only one set up this way, but I feel that a lot of times agents are going to fall into maybe one of two camps. There might be three different camps, but normally an agent's going to either not necessarily need a lot of support and help and direction. They just need a contract, so they come to you saying, "Hey, I need a contract," or there's going to be the other side that people who might come to you and say, "Listen, I really want to get in this business, but I'm not financially set up to do it on my own, and maybe I need a little more hand holding, maybe I need just a little more direction so that I can be successful and get to the point where I no longer need leads to come from you, where I can take care of myself." And that's kind of more how you're structured, right?
Yeah, so I love that you're going into this. It gets me super excited. So I love we had talked about this before. I love the second chance agents, that ones that are really, really, they are not in a good system, mm-hmm. but they have really good work ethic.
Yeah,
that is so I think it's appealing to me, because I feel like those agents that need that help, we offer a free lead program. So we offer a free lead program. We help agents being able to market for them. And it sounds, free leads, it's captive, right? Or what's the gist, right? Well, the neat thing about how we work is once you're ready to actually take over and pay for your leads, you can actually change your contract. We don't keep you in the contract.
Yeah.
You just, you want to be able to, I'm having a hard time. It's crazy. I'm not taking off as an agent. We have the ability to be able to help those agents that are struggling, mm-hmm. that are willing to have that work ethic, mm-hmm. turn them into, give them that second chance to stay in the business.
Yeah.
Right? Because the most scariest thing is, because we work on sales, is that having to, we reap what we sow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those people that are having a hard time, they're having a rough time, being able to grow them, that is really neat what we do. I've taken a lot of agents that were struggling and turning them into absolute killers.
Yes.
Because they needed that right system.
Right. Yeah. And they needed the whole structure and support. And sometimes in our industry, and I've talked about this in other podcasts, that this setup gets a little bit demonized, right? Because they do immediately, they believe that because they are in LOA situation or something like that, or if they're getting the support from you and all that you are automatically a captive agent. And and again, the definition of captive seems to be different depending on who you talk to, right? So it definitely, it can get really, really confusing for the insurance agent.
It's like a lead, right?
Yeah. It gets really confusing. And then they don't know which way to go. They don't know if this is the right way or that's the right way. And they're scared ultimately that they're going to get trapped somewhere that they don't want to be. So talk a little bit more first about where your agency is at today, because again, people need to understand that your system works, and the reason it works is because you have proof of concept. You can tell them hey, this is how much we write every month. This is our production. This isn't just me talking trash or talking whatever. This actually works.
That was me talking trash. No, I was kidding. No, So from March of 2020, mid-peak COVID, I actually started an agency. So
that's when we all shut down. That's what my call center. We in March is when we shut down being at the office and had to go virtual, because that's when everything was just getting closed. So that's when you decided this is a good time to start an agency.
It kind of fell in my lap. So that March 2020, peak COVID, I started my agency. And so I started recruiting and started training. And so, again, a lot of these agents, they didn't have, a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, we decided, okay, we're going to have the ability to be able to have a free lead agent and be able to, we'll give them leads based on if they're writing business, right? So they're writing business, that setup, being able to develop them was a little bit more, it's kind of like a hybrid approach to it. They control everything, right? So, but being able to, I guess, answer your question, it was a crazy approach how we just saw it. I mean, I said, hey, you know what? I was just gonna say, hey, let's do it. 4 or 5 agents came to me and they were like, look, I'm not making money, and they were in a captive setup, where they can only write one company, that kind of captive setup, right? And by the way, LOA's not bad. I don't want to, step on anybody's toes. There's some people, if you're doing it and it's working for, people, we talked about this mentality of people, where it's going to be different.
Not everyone is built to be independent.
Bingo, right? So what I like is I like to be able to take those people, again, that second chance people, the ones that are failing out, the ones that are realizing, okay, I've been here for 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, a year, and I'm not making money, right? I'm doing all this work, I'm putting in so much effort, and I'm not making any money. I love those agents. Why? Because they're in the wrong system. They're buying the Kool-Aid, right? And again, the Kool-Aid's not always bad. If you're making money, you're making money. But if you're not making money,
there's things you have to, at that point, start to analyze to determine, is it you or is it the system you're a part of? And you're good at analyzing that based on conversations you're having, because again, you've already been through this. You've already know how to identify.
Well, I came from a captive setup, actually. So
which is why you could probably read it even easier. Right?
So, and I don't want to name any companies out there. You know who you are. But I come from that captive setup, and again, everybody's definition of captive is a little bit different. But I came from that captive setup where, again, that one company can write, the underwriting's super strict, right? And you're just like, okay, I'm spinning my wheel here. Right. Then what happened was, okay, I came over, I became a top producer within not even 6 months. I think it was after 4 months. I actually, again, started the agency. And they were like, do you want to do it? Like, you're doing pretty good. Right. And I was like, sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's wing it. From there, I literally had no training on how to build. Build. Yeah.
You're winging it.
I was. So it happened. It just so happened that some agents came, with me, and from there, I didn't feel like I was actually like, I didn't feel like I should have been a build, like you know what I mean? Like I was just like, I was just an agent, you know? And I hate the word entitled, but I didn't feel like, and again, not obligated. I think what I'm looking for is more like, it like just fell into my lap.
Right. You weren't expecting or desiring to be in this leadership role. It just happened, and you ran with it.
Well, I feel like I didn't deserve it. Yeah. So it was just like, it just you're right. It just happened. It like wrote its own story. From there, then from 4 agents, 5 agents to 9 agents, and I was like, oh my god, right? And
because every agent that's coming on in your structure, the way you've set it up, you're feeding them leads. Am I correct?
Yeah. So what happens is again, you either get free leads, you're paying for a portion of your leads, or you're paying for all of your leads.
Right.
And it depends on the contract for that. So we've set it up essentially for you to be able to tune in and dial on however you want to do it.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Whatever you're comfortable. And there's some agents, you'd be surprised, they just don't want to pay for leads. Right? At all.
They're willing to take a lower contract in order to not have to worry about the leads.
I don't force them to. I want them to get a bigger contract. You know what I mean? Like I want, you know why? Because I want to be competitive.
Right.
But if they fall in love with the system and me, I mean that's on them. You know. So, but getting back to it all, I think for me, in my personal opinion, being able to be this successful as an agency, I personally believe it's my availability.
Yeah, that's 100% what so many agents are looking for, where there's a lot of tools out there now that can help with quoting. They can help with, hey, if you're the person you're talking to has XXX conditions. Here's what you should put them into or attempt to put them into. But agents still don't want to fuss with that. They would rather be able to pick up somebody on speed dial and say, hey, I got a guy that has type 2 diabetic. Type 2 diabetic has this and that condition. Where can I place him that has the highest chance of getting improved? And you're kind of like that. You're that dictionary for him, right? You have the answer.
Yes, it's funny because I had to make sure I double check my phone because of course I'm gonna have somebody's gonna get a hold of me. Having that availability, yes, it's super imperative. If you're working with somebody and they're just telling you they don't know what company to write,
yeah,
that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? For you figuring out on your own, I think that's extremely bad. I think that's somebody that, first off, they didn't train the manager. The manager should not be in management. The upline, me personally.
Right.
If you don't know what you're talking about, you should not be recruiting.
Right.
Right. You don't know your business and how to write it. That is something, it smells MLM, right?
Because you need to make sure that if you're going to step into a leadership role, you need to be a master of your niche. Because people are going to look to you. They're going to look for answers. And if you don't have those answers, then you necessarily maybe shouldn't be in that role right now.
So when I first came into the industry itself, well, actually, once I left Captive, I was with the company temporarily. It goes by 3 letters. We ended up actually, I went with them, and they were like, okay, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. I remember my first house. I was like, well, what do I do? I'm not like a field underwriter. I don't know nothing. Right. When I was first starting independent, he was like, take these, and there were paper apps.
Right.
Take these paper apps, write in every single one of them, 4, in each one of them, 4.
Uh-huh.
Process it and see which one sticks. I literally got told that. Yeah.
Meaning that, and so basically what they're saying is when you're face to face with somebody, regardless of their health conditions, you just slap it in there and see if it somehow passes through underwriting. Wow. That's wild.
That was my first experience independent. And I was so scared because I was like, oh my God, I made the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, so,
oh man.
Yeah. And I'm spending money on leads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the crazy part was they didn't have this sort of setup when I first came in here. So, being able to offer it to agents, especially, now, it's just crazy to see how somebody would not, as an upline, how they would not care. That's insane to me. Being in the position I'm in.
Yeah.
How can you not care about your people? It's your people.
Their livelihoods.
This is what blows my mind. When they make money, the upline makes money.
That's it.
Why would you not do your best to pour in as much as you could to that individual to try to make as much money? Is it because of competition? Are you scared they'll be better than you? Like what you should want them to be as good as you. Right. And so, for me, it's just like, it just blows my mind how certain IMOs could do that. It boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Right. Like, then and again, I'm gonna toot my own horn right here. I've only had one agent fail out so far, and it's because he didn't go to work.
That's one of those where the process works, and if it still isn't happening, it's not the process, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. So as a builder, as an upline, I want to make myself 100% available all the time. Sometimes too available. And look, my friends
been there, done that.
Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you taking a phone call? It's like 9 p.m. Because it's 7 p.m. over there. You know what I mean?
They're still right in business.
I got to be available.
Yeah.
So I think I'm so in love with this business that I've tried to learn how to master it.
Yeah.
I've learned how to master it. Then I've learned how to, how do I keep on growing it as a upline?
Right.
So how do I keep on developing myself? So then I was like, I'm going to start doing Medicare, right? And so I started doing it on the side. And then now I'm starting to do annuities. And I'm like, because, I would rather be jack of all trades, you know what I mean, master at all of them.
No. And here's I've had that argument before, because you always hear that is an old adage that people always said is, you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none, or you're going to be a master of a trade. And I'm a master of many, because the way I did it was I mastered one at a time. And so I mastered sales first, then I mastered marketing, then I mastered advertising, then I mastered technology. So I'm mastering all these things as I go. And over time, you can be a master of multiple things. And so I don't believe that people should feel limited by saying I should only. Now, don't try to be a master of everything all at once. That's difficult.
That's bad. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, but I did, again, I've been in the industry 15 years, so I've accumulated these skills over time and practiced them very well to the point of mastering them before I moved on to the next.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's almost like, okay, all right, you're selling, if you're selling cars, don't try and sell boats as well on the side. You know what I mean? Or if you're selling, cars, don't try and sell planes. If you have a certain niche and you know how to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Right. Master it first, and then add something else into the menu. You know what I mean? McDonald's is good at selling burgers. You know what I mean? Then they start adding. We'll add fries to the meal, and then they have a drink to it. And then maybe we'll put in a chicken burger. Have you seen their menu? It doesn't change. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if they're good at what they do, they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just being able to constantly keep on learning as an upline, because my agents are catching up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my agents are catching up, and I have to make sure that, hey, you know what, that I still create value.
Yeah.
I have to create value.
That's what all uplines have to realize, that sometimes they forget, is that just because you have them under contract doesn't mean the job is done. Like, we always have to, in anything we do, constantly create value on an ongoing basis in order to keep our people happy. That's just part of the game. It's what I do. It's what you do. It's what any good upline has to do, is they have to constantly be innovating and providing value. 100%. And a lot of times the value that comes can be very simple. Value is simple as, hey, you give me a call and I'll answer your call. People love that. They freaking love that more than anything, to be able to call you and say you're going to answer the phone.
Well, I told agents now I'm at a point with my final expense. I know, I don't know if you you do an interview with people, agents that are builders that are do a lot of final expense, but I'm at a point now where you can call me, you can literally list me the medications and what's going on and their issues, and I'll be able, you can even put me on the spot right now if you want to. So,
no, I believe you.
Yeah, so, hey, stroke, all right, within 2 years, over 2 years, all right, that's going to go this carrier, right? And then if diabetes, they're taking clopidogrel, they're taking atorvastatin, they're taking, gabapentin. All right, being able to, you do it so much, right? And it just gets, it's like, okay, it's nice. I mean, it's in your mind. Have you seen like The Hangover? Zach Galifianakis' character, he sees it in his head. That's what's happening, you know what I mean? So it's like Blinko. You got to figure out what company, what carrier goes to what. And again, I think that is super valuable, because instead of trying to be able to force yourself to learn it, you're going to get better with it over time. Because
the more apps you do, the more times you go through those conditions, and the more times you answer the question, it sticks in their mind. So the next time they come across somebody who had a stroke in the last 2 years, they'll be like, oh, well, last time Alex told me to go this way, so I'll remember this time. I don't have to call them. Yeah. I already know it's going to go this way.
It's like Lev Up the Rocks, and I'm like, you don't even got to tell me that medication no more. It's just for thyroid. It's like, it's okay. You know what I mean? But to piece it all together, I think as an upline, being available is super important. It's super important. Being able to have an upline that's knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Having a system that works. Having the ability to be able to control your contract. I should not really tell you, I not say really, but I should not control your contract.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
As an independent agent, I should not control your contract. You should control your contract. Right? Facebook leads, we all know how they work, right? I'm all a big fan of direct mail.
Okay.
Direct mail is king. It's going to stay king, right? Somebody high intent wrote it out.
Yep.
Let me get those Walmart gift cards. You don't use those. Those are bad. Yeah. It's okay. Well, I don't use them, so. But again, just pouring into an agent that is willing to work, I think that is extremely, extremely, extremely. It's for me. It's as satisfying as an upline.
Yeah.
Because seeing the success.
Yeah.
That is huge.
That's the win.
It's the win. It's being wow. Because we talked about it here. 8%. They talked about it. Say, when you get to a point where you start pouring into people, you're not really focused on yourself. Mm-hmm. That's when it starts to matter.
Yeah.
That's what. And honestly, that's where I don't want to say it sound greedy. That's where the real money's at.
Yeah.
Because a successful agency, I don't want to ever say it's me. It's not me. I learn from my own, but my agents are calling me on Saturdays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
they're working.
They're working. They're not working. You know, they're working last night, but they still go outside and work today. You know?
Wait. Let's reverse there. Did you say they're working, not twerking?
So shout out again. I'm my favorite agent, my best friend, Brianna Campos. She actually taught me this industry.
Yeah.
Right. So long story short, captive left. She came over here. We had an upline who was like, "Are you booking or are you macking?" Right. So you know we say, "Hey, working you twerking?" You know, and it's adjusted over time. So Brianna, I love you. Best friend since middle school, actually works with me. So
right on.
Yeah. So yeah, best friend. So it's nice because I feel like we're all family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. This business is very lonely.
Yeah.
It's very lonely. It's because you're independent.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And if you're captive, one company.
Yeah.
Then that's, you're going to have more, I guess, camaraderie and close and being close. But, you're going to have that. You're going to be in an office and working every single day, and right next to them. You're not independent.
That's right.
This business can be lonely, and it gets, you need to have somebody, not just your upline, but have a team together that is extremely close. And I think that we are extremely close as an agency, as a group. My agents don't leave.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that like
it's not cocky.
I'm not trying to be cocky. Yeah. I'm saying it as just like I'm proud of it.
Yeah. They're happy. That's what you want. That's what you ultimately want.
Happy agents, make money.
Yeah.
Happy agents are working on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I don't want to really tell it all on me. It's all about the. I think it's just the organization. It's the system. It's
the culture.
It's the culture. Yeah.
Yeah. So if so to kind of wrap things up here today, there's going to be people who are listening to this who say, I like what he's saying, and I like what he's talking about regarding the fact that I'm still in control of my contracts, yet I can still find a way to get some help with leads and help with systems and support. So how do people get in touch with you? Is there ways online, or is it phone, or if they want to kind of semi-interview or just talk to you to see if it's a good fit?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me. I'm actually my agency. We're called Summit Solutions by Alexander McGaw. It's on Facebook. It's a Blue Mountain. I didn't really want to promote it yet because I feel like I'm going to be switching the name up very soon.
But at least they can maybe instant message you on Facebook. If they
Alex McGaw, Alexander McGaw. I need a marketer, right?
You asked if I'm available? I'm a little busy, Alex.
I can tell. So Alex McGaw. I'm Summit Solutions. If you want to reach out to me, if you want to put my number on, I don't know how.
Yeah. I'll put it when we post the video.
Number,
sure.
And reach out, and if you want to incorporate FE, right? If there's somebody wants to incorporate FE, you can keep your Medicare contracts wherever you're at. I don't want to steal anybody from anything, but if you're or an agent that's just struggling, I feel like being able to get that second chance and be like, oh my gosh, I found it. I found home, and that's where I'm at. I feel like I try my best to be able to provide a home for an agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on today.
I appreciate you having me. Yeah.
It's been, like I said, when I find people who I feel are genuine, that's to me very important. Those are the people who I want on my podcast, people who are genuinely looking to help others, whether it be the consumer or the agent, because I myself have a passion for both, and I love meeting people like you who also have that same passion. So thanks again for coming on.
This was a great interview. It was
awesome.
Great. Yeah,
we had a lot of fun.
Now, we're going to get some mimosas after this.
I still got a few more of these to do. I don't know if I can do it yet. Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. You don't want to see me drunk when I'm doing these. No,
Are you sure? Have you done it?
No, I haven't done it yet, but I don't know if I want to.
You can start with me. We can do another interview.
So guys, thanks for watching, and then again, look for his contact info. I'll have it either above or below, depending on where you're watching this, but either way, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Hey, thanks for watching the podcast. If you like the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can get notified when more new content comes out. We'll see you on the next one.